Bruce Springsteen's new biopic, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, gives fans an intimate look at the man behind the music, and it's already stirring up plenty of questions.
Songwriting's a funny thing. And it's about searching for something.
Sure, the movie dives deep into the making of his haunting 1982 album Nebraska, but many viewers seem to be equally intrigued by one mysterious character, Faye, played by Odessa Young. She's a waitress, a single mom, and someone who briefly but deeply connects with Springsteen in the film. Naturally, everyone's asking, was she real? The film, with Jeremy Allen White playing Springsteen, premiered on October 24th and dives into a really important time in his life.
How good is Jeremy as you? I mean, he's really good, isn't he?
Well, you know, when I saw that clip, I said, gee, when did I get that good looking?
It shows Bruce dealing with fame, loneliness, and his own thoughts, the struggles that shaped one of his most raw and emotional albums. Right in the middle of all that, Faye appears, bringing warmth and connection that feel incredibly real. But here's the thing. She's not a real person, so who is Faye then? According to writer-director Scott Cooper, she's a composite character, a blend of the women Springsteen dated around that time. In a recent interview, Cooper explained that Bruce was struggling emotionally in the early 80s. Even when he knew he should have been happy in a relationship, Cooper said, it was still hard for him to stay connected. That line alone says a lot about the man behind the rock legend. Someone who could fill stadiums but still felt isolated in his personal life.
You can't have deep experience without error, mistakes, pain. That's all just a part of you.
If you've read Springsteen's memoir, Born to Run, you'll remember how honest he was about this. He admitted, 2 years inside of any relationship and it would simply stop. It was rarely the women themselves I was trying to get away from. He described feeling suffocated by love, not because he didn't care, but because it brought up fears about commitment and vulnerability. One of the real women who helped inspire Faye was model Joyce Heiser, who dated Bruce for nearly 5 years in the late 70s and early 80s. Heiser once said they grew up together and have stayed friends to this day, but there were others too. Shorter relationships that came and went, each leaving a mark that ended up shaping the Faye we see on screen.
I found these old performance videos of you playing with the band in the early days, just the most glorious chaos. Just women running on stage and grabbing you and kissing you, and the band it's just unbelievable.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Those were the days.
And here's a cool behind-the-scenes detail. Director Scott Cooper shared that Springsteen himself approved of the character. He told Cooper, "Scott, I wasn't a monk. I think what you're doing is right. It's about showing the emotional truth about my inability to connect with women that I absolutely should have." Hard to believe, right? Bruce Springsteen, the rock legend who struggled so much to connect with women in the early 80s, has now been happily married to his wife Patti Cialfa for over 3 decades. But here's something you might not know. Patti wasn't Bruce's first love story. She was his second chance, and he didn't let that one slip by. Because before their story began, Bruce was married to actress Julianne Phillips. Bruce Springsteen met Julianne Phillips during one of his tours after his agent introduced them. The musician was immediately attracted to Phillips, and the two quickly bonded over their love of working out and rock and roll. In his autobiography, Born to Run, he described her as a tall, blonde, educated, talented, a beautiful and charming young woman. At the time, Bruce was said to have a mutual attraction with bandmate Patti Cialfa. However, this died down as he and Julianne began dating. The romance advanced quickly despite the pair's 11-year age difference, and the musician soon took Phillips to meet his family. The pair married in 1985, but only after dealing with fans and paparazzi. Although the singer loved the actress, he had a fear of commitment. Right after the wedding, Springsteen began suffering anxiety attacks. Sometimes he would be disturbed by the dreaded ticking late at night in his sleep. Bruce confessed that he grew up broken because of his relationship with his father, Doug, who was frequently mean to his son and suffered from alcoholism. Doug had a lot of rage and frequently terrified his family. The troubled relationship between Springsteen and his father continued until Doug died in 1998. Even before his death, he couldn't tell his son, "I love you." You'd hear his voice breaking up, but he couldn't get out the words, Bruce said about the moment. Because of his childhood, it was hard for Bruce to have healthy relationships with women. He described his wild nights as a rock star on the road as merry psychosexual carnage. The songwriter found himself drawn to Paddy Scialfa, his bandmate. There had always been a mutual attraction between the two. Scialfa was also closer to the musician's age. During his 3-month Tunnel of Love Express tour, Springsteen and Scialfa spent a lot of time together, frequently performing duets on stage. As a result, their professional relationship quickly turned into something more. The musician slipped away from his wife emotionally and was often spotted with Scialfa. The pair was even photographed cuddling on a hotel balcony in Rome. Ultimately, Springsteen came clean about his relationship with Scialfa. In 1988, Phillips filed for divorce. The singer has since confessed that he dealt with the split abysmally by insisting on keeping things quiet as they divorced, which did nothing but create more rumors. "I made a tough thing more heartbreaking than necessary." With time, Bruce admitted he was emotionally stunted and not ready for a relationship with Phillips. "I placed her in a terribly difficult position for a young girl, and I failed her as a husband and partner," he wrote. The divorce was finalized in 1989, and the singer had to pay his ex $20 million. Wow.
Pay me my money down.
Meanwhile, Springsteen and Scialfa continued their relationship. The boss has described his bandmate as a formidable partner, feeling a very strong attraction to the musician. Paddy had a part that carried a charged sexuality. She could seduce and she could stir you to jealousy, he wrote about her. In 1990, the couple had their first child. 1 year later, they got married and had a daughter. Their third child was born a couple of years later. Springsteen has confessed that his children have no interest in his music.
Strangers would come up to us, and I used to always have this thing I'd tell them. I'd say, look, my job, I'm Barney for adults, all right?
And he doesn't mind because they don't need a hero, they need a father. In 2022, he and Scialfa became grandparents. Bruce and Paddy's relationship is still going strong. The two have been married for more than 30 years. Although the musicians have endured difficult moments like Springsteen's depression, they have always supported each other. The musician was dealing with the mental illness at the time of his 2012 album Wrecking Ball, which included a song about his struggles. Bruce was worried that the disease would make him become like his father. His paternal family had relatives with mental health issues, which were undiagnosed or not discussed. It was simply mysterious, embarrassing, and ordinary. Springsteen's physical health was suffering too. The singer was underweight and mostly consumed fast food. At one point, he was so weak that he needed to be escorted off stage. Bruce initially tried to combat his depression by becoming healthier and going to the gym, but despite his new fitness routine, his mental health was still suffering. Springsteen finally realized that depression was mainly a biochemical issue and that he needed more than an exercise program in order to control it. Paddy stayed by Bruce's side as he continued going to therapy and learning to deal with the illness. She was stable enough and strong enough, and she brought a lot of love, so those were very healing things over a long period of time, Springsteen explained. The star also said that his relationship with Paddy was the only one where his depression was understood and that she knew how to handle and live with the twisted parts of his personality better than some of his other partners. The couple continues working together. Springsteen explained that they have developed natural boundaries and, depending on the situation, they take a personal or professional approach. When she comes on stage with the E Street Band, she's an E Street Band member. And when we walk off stage, we're husband and wife, he said. It seems like the rock star has learned from his past, and although he regrets the way he treated Julianne, he has found his forever with Paddy.